Hey everybody, welcome to Elisa's Art Room. Today we're going to be working some more on my wild and muted junk journal. Y'all come in and say hi, let me know you're here. We are currently live on Facebook if you see the little red button at the top left. If not, you're catching a replay either here or on YouTube. I'm going to get you guys pulled up so I can see chat. And we will get started on this in just a minute. How is the volume? I think it's okay. All right. Hey Bonnie. So today we're going to be working on a zipper page. So I've done a few of them. I haven't done one, I don't think, in a while. I don't know. I lose track. But I thought it would be cool to do. It's too much glare. It's like everything's reflecting on these glasses. But we're going to try that. So I've got a page picked out and I pulled up some fabric that I think will work. Thanks for letting me know the sound is good, Bonnie. I appreciate that. All right, so I've got everything I need, I think. So let's go ahead and get this camera pulled up to the top and we'll get started. And it still looks crooked. Oh, I can't figure out what is wrong with this tripod. Something weird with it. All right, I think it's all right. But yeah, I think I must have had one leg lower at one point because it was showing a little off. But it's all right. So basically just lining up the bottom line. The top line is still sideways, but it'll work. Let's see. So I picked out some fabric. This is some fabric I've had for a while. It's just, it's kind of a blue-gray kind of color. I got it from Hobby Lobby in a, like a fat quarter kind of pack. So I just need a little of that. I think I can cut it out. I'll have to figure it out. I didn't iron it or anything. It's hopefully not going to be a problem. I think that the square I need will be about that size, so it shouldn't be an issue. Okay, what page was that? Was it this page or was it a lighter page? This page. Okay, so I think I'm going to put it here. I have my little inspiration book with my cheat notes because I can't remember how I do it. I kind of remember, but I kind of don't. See, there it is. So cheat notes. So basically, this is what we'll be doing. It's just a piece of cardstock with some fabric on it and a zipper on it. And you can sew the zipper or you can glue it. I usually just end up gluing it. Sewing is cool too, but I don't like to do that live. So, and then you just put something in the inside and then you can put a tag or whatever. And then this is typically glued down to your page. So it's just not in my sample so that I know what I did. I might just leave that out for now. Let's put this little thing back there. So let's see if I can remember how to do it. All right, so first thing is cut cardstock about 1/8 smaller than the page you will be attaching it to. So that is this piece of cardstock, and it can be decorated. It doesn't have to be decorated because you're going to mostly cover it up. And I usually just pick up a page that's sturdy. It really doesn't matter what color it is. I think it's more important that it kind of goes with the color over here, because that's mostly what you'll see. And then I grab a zipper. I've got a gray one. I've also got a brown one, but I think a cream one. I think this will work best for this fabric. So we'll go with that, I think. And then I get these at Hobby Lobby. They're just 7-inch all-purpose closed zippers. $1.49. They're usually on sale for like 99 cents or something. They're not expensive. And then I think I might use this paper. It's double-sided, which I don't really need, but that's okay. This can be like my background, but I don't think I'm going to do it as the cardstock. Am I? Should I? Honestly, it doesn't really matter, I don't think. Let me think about this. If I use it as the cardstock page, and then it would just get glued. I feel like there was a reason I didn't want to do that, and now I don't know what it was. I only have one piece in here, but honestly, it's kind of flimsy. It doesn't have to have another one. And it's already decorated. I think I'll just do the one. It should be all right. So I'll use this as the cardstock page. And it'll just be glued down. It could be put in loose, but you know, the fabric comes over the back edge, so it's not necessarily the neatest look. So I'll probably just glue it. And then we'll use this as the background, but it can't be quite this big, so I gotta figure out where I'm gonna cut this page. But this just says, blessed who loves nature, for they shall never be lonely. I thought that was pretty. And then I had a couple of printouts I just did from a couple of those digitals. I don't remember which ones they are. Let's see if I can figure it out. I know one was like the spring torn pages. Where are the sheets of paper? Who knows? Everything's all everywhere in my room right now. I have way too many projects going at once. All right, let's see. So Torn Pages Spring Green Vintage is, I think, everything but I think this one. I think this one was from the Nature's Neutrals. And I show these, they're in the description if you need to look them up, but that's the only digital I'm using for this particular one because it goes well. So I have several pictures to choose from to use as like a tag. So whichever one we decide looks best in here, I think they'll fit. I try to guess on the size. I think they'll fit. And if not, there's room to cut some of them down. So we'll figure that out. So let's see. So this should be approximately, let's see, this one I did, you don't want to get into your center. How wide did I do that one? I'm guessing like 6. Five and a quarter. So a lot smaller than I thought. 5 1/4 by, I just want the cardstock part, 8. So 5 1/4 by 8. I think I'm gonna write that down. 5.25 by 8. All right, so we'll cut this out first to fit. So I'm just going to kind of center these words, and it'll mostly be just background kind of looking stuff. It won't really be super detailed. Let's see, 5 1/4 would be approximately 2 1/2 for the middle, so somewhere thereabouts. That would give me a little of this orange, this color in there. So that's kind of what I was looking at. So 2 1/8 would be exactly the middle, so we'll do about here. So 5 1/4. So there, and then 8 will just go all the way. It's the whole thing. The whole thing is 8, so yeah. All right, so let's cut that out. Hey, Angela. We'll cut the material out in a minute. Hopefully I don't need to iron it or nothing. I do not have a little iron. So cut zipper to fit, cut fabric about 1/2 inch larger on the sides and the bottom. Glue image, cardstock. Keep in mind bottom and outside edges won't show. Cut fabric down the middle vertically. Glue paste first if you think it will fray. Attach zipper to the cut fabric. Avoid the bottom edge that will glue under. Okay, so. All right. Let's just cut this first. So I'm just going to use my rotary cutter for the fabric and my regular. Probably just use this thing. I don't know if the blade's good. Hopefully the blade's okay. I've been using it on cardstock for train buildings. Man, I hate that I'm going to lose half of that, but it is what it is. I'll use it somewhere. Alright, let's see how that fits. Should put a paper clip in there. I don't have to find it every time. Thought it was light blue. Maybe it's near the back. There. Put a paper clip in it so you can figure it out. Otherwise I'm going to keep losing it. Let's make sure this fits. If I can pick it up. It's a fraction wide. Either my measurements are off or something. That would be my first guess. Huh? They're right, but I think it's a fraction wide. You gotta allow a little bit of room for the fabric, so I'm gonna cut it just down a little bit more. Just a little. Let's see how that looks. So maybe just 5. 5 1/4 seems a little bit wide. I'll just say 5. My notes. All right. And my journals are the same page-wise, so it should kind of be the same. All right, so let's figure out our fabric size. So I said 1 inch bigger on, well, 1/2 inch is all I really need. So 1/2 inch bigger on all the sides. Where is it? Just a piece of paper. I've got little sticky notes here somewhere. Maybe. There they are. I found them. Okay, so 1/2 inch. That would make that 6 inches by, and then we don't need 1/2 inch on the top, but we do on the bottom. So 8 1/2. Okay. And then I'm going to try to pick an edge of the material that's frayed for the top. And I'm not sure if I think I'm gonna cut it after for the middle, I think. I always have to rethink how I do this. All right, material, where did I hide you? There you are. All right, which edge do I like? There is a salvaged edge on this, which doesn't look bad. I might use that for the top. It gives me a little wrinkle there, though. Oh, I could wet this and blow it dry and get that wrinkle out. Or I could just use this side. It's definitely not torn very well. I don't think I've tore this down yet. I think I just washed it. Yeah, I prefer the salvaged edge, so I might get that wrinkle out. It may not be an issue, but it may, so. I don't really want this fraying on the back because it'll just kind of be a pain when gluing. Try to find the straightest edge here I can. So approximately, let's see, do I want it to come over the cardstock? Yeah, I usually do it over the cardstock just a little bit. So we'll do right here. And then bury your zipper, everything. So, all right, let's see, chalk pencil. There's one. Will that show? Maybe. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. What did I say? I said 6. Seems small. It says a 1/2 inch, but that's totally an inch. Girl, your instructions are horrible. I write these instructions and then it's like, what were you thinking? We're going to do an inch. I think it needs to be an inch. So I'm just going to write 1 inch. All right. So with that in mind, that would be 1 inch on each side, make it 7. Let's just do that. I think it's safer. So we'll go here. Can I see it? Nope. All right, different chalk pencil. Brown, brown. All right, mark here, mark here. Do you think that's kind of straight? I have no idea. I probably should just go ahead and cut. I'm tempted to, I don't want to tear it. I'm just going to cut this first and try to get it kind of square. So I need 9 inches this way. Let me do 9 inches. I'll go ahead and cut that in. I'm just going to cut it all the way across. I'll use it for something, I assume. It's awful big though. All right, you know what? We're just going to rip it and hope it rips right. I'm going to go a little below my mark. Looks like it did. Okay. You never know. Sometimes it stays on the grain, sometimes it gets really crazy. So that looks pretty square. All right, so now I can line that side up. Yeah, it's not too bad. That's pretty good. Okay. So let's do this side. I can use my marks on my grid here. So I don't want to tear it. Although it didn't tear horribly. Sometimes one direction will tear great and the other side will not. Which one of these is fabric? This one. All right, let's see. You know what? I'm going to put my glove on. I've already cut myself with my rotary once. So I'm going to put my knife cutting glove on because it's just better for me. I tend to be a little bit accident prone when it comes to cutting myself. If I can get this line up. Get on the line. I'm not the best at doing this. Cutting fabric. Try not to go too fast. Okay. And then we'll do the other side. Just gonna put it on my little grid. Line up the mark. Yeah, the bottom's a little off, but it's not terrible. It doesn't have to be 100% square. You know, that totally just fell apart. I have no idea why that fell apart. All right, let's see what's wrong with it. This way. I assume it doesn't, you don't want it too snug because it probably won't go in and out. Right there. Every time you use it, it probably loosens up a little bit. Next, there will be a middle cut. Should I do that now? I think I should, but I did say it might fray, and it does look like it does fray, so I'm going to glue the center. So let me mark the center. Let's see, user grid, will it work? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which would be 3.5. Am I thinking right? 3.5. Yeah. My brain's working. Okay. Yay. So mark this at 3.5. And I'm just going to mark it on both sides here. I just want to put some glue on there so that it doesn't fray. Now, I will be gluing it to the zipper, so it might not be necessary, but because it will be glued at some point, as long as it doesn't fall apart before I get to that point, you know? All right, so let's throw something on there. I think I'll use, what shall I use? I usually just use art glitter. I have fabric glues, but sometimes they're just sticky. I'll just use my art glitter. It doesn't tend to show too bad. Excuse me, too bad. I'm going to do it on the back, so. But I'm just going to do this edge. I'm going to try not to get too much on that mark because I don't want to cut through this glue. It's actually starting to flatten out pretty good. I might not have to wet it and iron it, so to speak. I was just going to wet it and blow dry it. Right. But I will blow dry that probably. So wipe. Okay. So we'll give that a second to dry. I could hit it with the blow dryer, but I'll just give it a second. In the meantime, I will cut. Let's see. We need ribbon. Find some ribbon. And then the zipper, I think the zipper fits pretty good. I don't think I need to trim it down. I think I trimmed this part. That's what I trimmed. Actually, I must have trimmed the bottom too. All right, so I did trim it. I'm just going to use this one as a guide. It looks like I chopped off mostly on the bottom. I'm going to only cut a little off the top, and then I've got this stopping about, oh, I don't know, a ½ inch up for the zipper stop. So I'm just going to stick with that and hope it hits this card at about the same spot. It's somewhere around there. Got a pinking shear here somewhere. Just use my pinking shear. And then we'll trim just a little bit off of this. I'm going to unzip it though so I can match it up better. Just a bit. That should be about right. Alright, so that should fit in my card. Ribbon. I haven't really thought about ribbon. What do I got? What do I have? Probably with these colors, so something that's going to look pretty with this fabric. Is it dry yet? It's almost totally dry. So this kind of gray, I mean, maybe just white, but the other page, like I said, is that avocado paper, which is kind of a pink. It's kind of a coral. It's kind of a coral color. So I want something that will go with all of this stuff. This has a lot of coral in it, which is kind of nice. I like the deer too. I like the little birdie. All of these will go with our background fine. This has a little more blue in it. I think it'll fit fine. Looks like it. I might go with the birdie. I like them all, honestly, but I might go with the birdie. I'm sure I'll use these all somewhere. So we'll go ahead and cut this out. This is just going to be like a journaling card, basically. I printed it out on some cardstock. It's the 65-pound cardstock. Oops. I started cutting and then I realized I was not against that edge. Alright. That's fine. We can ink it and round the corners, I think. Assuming I can find my rounder. Here it is. Wrinkle up this even more. Flatten. Yeah, it's not too bad actually. Okay. Frayed burlap, antique linen. Vintage. Tea dye. Let me go with tea dye. a little lighter than Vintage Photo. A little more, almost pink. It's like a slightly pink tone to it. Since it's going to be like a loose journaling card. I don't think I'm going to back it with anything, although I could. It's thick enough to use like it by itself, but you can back them. Sometimes I'll just add some like writing paper. I might do that. We'll see. It does help it not to go through if you're writing on it. Honestly, that's probably the main reason I tend to do it sometimes. So I might do that. I'll have to see what kind of writing papers I have. I'm sure I have something floating around. All right, I'll set that up there. So this should be ready to cut down the middle. Get this chalk off before I forget. I don't think it's going to show, but I'll take it off anyway. About to drop everything. Yep, I dropped it. Oh my goodness. I forgot I had it in my lap. Okay. Alright, so this is the top. So let's see. We're going to put the zipper on and cut it down the middle. I'm not sure if I usually put the zipper on first or cut it first. Where are my instructions? What do you do usually? Cut fabric, half-inch larger, glue image cardstock, da-da-da-da. Keep in mind bottom and outside edges won't show much. We're not doing that step, the glue image to cardstock, because we are using it with an image on it already. Fabric down the middle, attach the zipper, so I cut it first. Okay. Yeah, there's a pretty good gap there. All right. I still gotta find ribbon. I don't know what I'm gonna use. I should have something. Let's see. Trying to find a color that I thought would look good. I don't see a whole lot of colors. I've got greens and beige. Probably just going with, I just don't know how this beige will look on this material. Where's it? It should be alright, right? It's probably fine. There's more beige than there is white, so maybe we'll just go with that. I'm debating if I should switch zippers. I think the gray is best, because it won't show much. We'll stick with the gray. Honestly, I could probably do either the gray or the brown, but we'll stick with the gray. All right, so let's cut this down the middle. Where'd my ruler go? We can put the zipper on. Do I unzip it or not? I'm not sure. Let me flip this over. I feel like if I unzip it, it helps it fit the top better. So we want to leave room on the bottom, but that shouldn't be an issue because we're just going to come all the way up to the top. I think I unzip it because I think it helps me to line it up, maybe. Like I said, I'm not the best at this. I think that's what I do. All right, so we'll just line this up to here, like so. And I'm just going to go pretty much all the way to where the fray starts. That should be right. All right, so we'll put this on with, I think Fabri-Tac. Hopefully it won't bleed through too much. I think I'll put it on the zipper and try to smooth it out. It's like I said, I haven't done this in a while. Just use my finger. Good. I think I'm going to use this little spatula though. I'm not going exactly next to that zipper. I am leaving like a 1/16 of an inch so it doesn't snag on it, hopefully. Okay. So like that. And then we'll do this side. Come on. There's a little bubble up there. Where'd it go? There it is. I smooth out the glue because it tends to help it not to bleed through the fabric if you smooth it out. Try to make it about the same as the other one. Still going to try to stay like a 1/16 of an inch away. Okay, seems to zip properly. All right, that should be fine. If you have any frays, you might want to cut them off because they will, sure enough, catch in there. That's why I put the glue on there. I thought it would stop it, but I must have missed some. I do see a little bit of fraying in here. I might throw a little more glue right on that edge, but we'll see if it's going to be an issue. I don't think I want to use the Fabri-Tac because it doesn't look as good on the top. Trying to find the pen. Totally lost my train of thought. It's like, what are you looking for? The pen. Okay. See, we've got our 2-piece fabric, and we just got to put them on our cardstock. So you kind of want to just figure out where it goes on the cardstock. I usually just let the fray stick over and center it. So let's find a center mark. If I can hold on to it. I can't. Right there. So my center mark is here. Use some tape. Okay. And then, so even on the bottom, kind of, sort of. Let me actually, I don't know, I'm not going to tape it. I think I'll be okay. Just try not to move it. All right, so this goes like this. Probably should zip it. So like that. Try to make sure it's even on the bottom. So that's where that's going to go. And then we're going to go around the edge. How do I keep it there? A clip. I need 6 hands. I have no idea how I did this last time. There may be an easier way. I don't know. We're just winging it, guys. Alright, so this is going to go like this. Trying to keep it somewhat in the middle there. I mostly want to make sure that this frayed edge is straight. If it's straight, the rest of it should fall in order. And that's never going to lay perfectly right, probably. But it'll be fine. It's almost always buckles a little bit. I'll put the lace on after I figure this out. See if I can find the center again. So I lost it now. Oh my goodness. There. So right there. And you can just miter your edges and stuff. Usually works best. Top one. I don't think I'll miter it. I think I'll leave it. So this is going to go like this. I'm just going to do this for a second so I can figure out this bottom. So I think I'm going to miter it. Alright, so we'll do it like this, and I'm just going to miter this a little bit. How do you do that? How do you do it with it already closed? I don't know. If I cut it across, would that be right? I don't think that's right. I usually do one side at a time, so I really don't know. We're just gonna kind of miter it, maybe out like 1/8 of an inch. Probably should have done this one, it was flat, but you know me, do it the hard way. Do it the hard way, why not? Alright, so that's gonna go like that. Just move that there. Ha, now that one's flat. Easier to cut it with a razor, but we'll try with this. Okay, and I'll squish this in when I do it. Okay, go a little closer. I think it was closer on the other side. All right. Something like that. I just want to turn it over and make sure it looks right before I start gluing. There's a little bit of a buckle there. To come down that way just a little bit. So I want the top to be flush for sure. So we'll squish this down a little more. Stay flat. Probably should have mitered closer, but I think I can make it work. All right, this should be about right. Let's flip it over. Yeah, I think that's good. All right, so let's attach that. Make sure I am, make sure I'm the right direction. I am. So we'll just attach this with Fabri-Tac. We're going to start here and glue this way. And hopefully that will stay snug. I think it will. And then I'll wrap the ribbon around before I glue it to the page. So I'm going to put this on the cardstock. Let's see, we'll do this edge after. I gotta move that one because everything's bumpy. I'm trying to keep sure it's snug. Corner. Come on, bubble. I really gotta buy some more Fabri-Tac so I can fill this bottle. I try to keep them completely full because they just are easier to squeeze. All right, so we'll squish this little corner in. It's not a huge deal, but nobody's going to see the back, but I do want it to lay as flush as it can so it's not bulky. Here, I'll just throw that on there for a second. All right, same thing here. Stick out. I don't want to stick out. Now it's stuck to my finger. All right, give that a second. See how this looks. That's good. Yeah, these edges are still trying to fray. I'm gonna have to put a little more glue. If I don't, what happens is it starts fraying and then the zipper starts getting stuck. You know, every time you zip it up and down. And then you have issues. So I'm just going to throw a little more glue on there. Just that edge. I'm not hitting the teeth of that or nothing. Actually, what do I want to do with it? Here, I think I can use this. Try not to get it on the teeth. So if you do a good job gluing it first, this won't be an issue. I didn't do a great job, so. I thought I did, but I didn't. That is not the glue I wanted. Honestly, it's probably best if you cut it first and then put the glue, because then you can see exactly where the edge is. But if you do it before, you can't really, because you're trying to avoid cutting through glue. But I think that'll be fine. Looks like it's laying now. All right, take that off. There, that should work, right? Let me see how it unzips. So that's our background. It's pretty. Now this doesn't show all the way across because obviously the material doesn't go all the way across. If you wanted that fray all the way across, you could just add a little extra piece of material, I guess. I usually don't worry about it. I don't think it's a huge deal. So I'm going to leave it. I'm just going to throw that totally dried already. So let's make sure our card fits. I assume it does, but let's just be sure. So usually I'll kind of do it halfway. So it will go in as a little tuck. That would be fine. So let's pick out some ribbon. I don't think I want this up. So you have to separate the ribbon or it obviously it won't open. So, but we'll just cut off enough to separate. It doesn't have to go all the way around in the back, but you do have to have two pieces, and you can just cut it after. You don't have to cut it first, but don't forget to cut it. It's not a huge deal because it's pretty easy to get to, so you can always cut it later if you do forget. So we're just going to do a little bit of glue there. Try not to kind of do overkill. Enough to look pretty. I'm going to try to get that in a spot where it cuts best. So I think right there. And if you're worried about it fraying, you might want to glue it. Actually, I'm going to glue it and then I'm going to hold off on, no, I don't want that. I want the art glitter. I'm going to hold off on cutting that for just a minute. Let's see if I can get this glue to kind of dry in there. My tweezers. I'm just going to squeeze it in there. If you're worried about it getting on your cardstock, put something under there. This is just so these don't fray. These fray awful. These little ribbons when you cut them. I'll let that dry for a second. Where's something I can throw in there? Doesn't. I'll stay here. I'll just throw that in there for a second. Just to be sure. Back to Fabri-Tac. Now, art glitter will work if you don't have Fabri-Tac, art glitter will work on this fabric. Just like I said, sometimes it, whereas the Fabri-Tac doesn't seem to do it as much. So that's why a lot of times I choose that. All right, then we want to do some on the bottom. And I like to just kind of cover up that little zipper bottom because it's kind of, you know, it's kind of open there. So I'm just going to cover that up a little bit. Now this one you do not have to open. It can stay closed. So just get enough to go all the way across. And honestly, it wouldn't even matter if the glue went through and glued it to the card. It wouldn't be an issue. But I just use it to decorate over that bottom piece that's open. I'll just put that middle one there. Okay. But if you wanted to not glue this into the page, it's totally an option. I mean, you could do it. If I was going to do that, I think what I would do is outline the whole thing. Like all of this, I would just outline that whole thing with the ribbon. So then you would have this spot to journal on or something. But I'm not going to, I think I'm just going to glue it to the page. I don't really see any reason not to, per se, other than just having another journaling spot. It's a little neater in the page, and it's easier to open and close and all that. So, you know, when it's attached. All right, we should be able to cut this now. Okay. Pull that acetate out. So, now we have that. And like that. All right, so that's our base. And that's usually all the stuff I put on it. You could put more. I mean, I could decorate the front with something, or I might have some, I know I've got more of those little flowers. I could put some of those on there. It's already a little thick from the zipper, so I don't really have to worry about it becoming thicker because it's already gonna bump up from the page because of this. There's not much I can do about that. So maybe I will throw a couple of those little flowers. We'll see. We'll see what they look like. I'll pull them out. They're floating around here somewhere. Actually, I have a whole bag of them that I came across. I was like, oh, I already had some. Tends to be the case. Right, let's see how this looks in here. Making sure I don't have glue. Put my paper down. All right. All right, so it is going to go on this page. I'm trying to remember if I trimmed this. I think I did. There's no room for me. I can't really weigh it down with that because I won't. It's going to get in the way. Try to get it to stay flat. Cooperate. So this is going to go here. I'm going to go closer to the outside than the inside because I don't want it to be an issue in the signature. but that looks good. We'll glue it down. I think I'm just going to use art glitter. I don't know. I'm thinking maybe I'll use Fabri-Tac. If I think it's something that is more bumpy and needs to grab easier, I'll use Fabri-Tac because it has a little more dimension to it. But if it's flatter, then I'll pick the art glitter because it doesn't need that extra dimension. But this is a little more bumpy. So, and it doesn't have to be a lot, you know, you need a ton of glue. Just enough to hold it down in its spot. You could even leave the back open to slide something in, but I'm not gonna. It's just one more step. I'm just not gonna. We're gonna have plenty of pockets before it's all over with, so no need to do that. Oh, the trick is getting it in here straight. Let's see if I can do it. So a little closer to the outside edge. Make sure I'm not over. Go in just a fraction more. Let me check that edge. Yep, that looks good. Right there. All right, let's see if I can find those flowers. Get this glue off my fingers. Okay, flowers, flowers, flowers. I saw you. Where did I see you? Not there. A lot of stuff out. Hold on, just bear with me 1 second while I find these flowers. And then I might look at the ephemera and see if I see anything that I could stick on there too. I could put possibly a word. Possibly. I literally saw these earlier today. So I know they're here. Okay, there's those. And then, like I said, I have a whole pack of them. These I found. Let's see. Let's see what looks pretty. Alright. So I've got the beige ones. This will be our insert. You won't see a lot of it while, you know, it's closed, obviously. Yeah, but you'll see it when you open it. I said I was going to put some writing paper on that. I might. But you can put it as far down as you want. There's, you can see the whole saying there. You can put a top on it if you want, but I'm not going to because it's just going to add more bulk. It's already bulky enough. So, I don't know how I want to do this. If I want to, sometimes I leave it to where it doesn't close all the way, like it is tacked. The problem with that is it does add a little more bulk, but I don't think it's really any bulkier than the scissors. So I'm just going to leave it closed. So we need this color, this color. Let's see what's in here. I don't really know. There's yellow. There's not really any yellows in this. Looking things. These little ones, these are cute. They have a little more bulk to them. I might can make the stamens low enough. So we've got like roses and then just like white ones. Got those. Or we have these. Well, these roses, they're a little bulky. I don't know if I can flatten them some. They're bulkier than, this one's a little bulky too. It's about the same. But this one, see how that sticks up a lot. That's like 1/4 of an inch. That's a lot. So I don't think I want to use that. It's too much for the inside of something. I'll probably use that on a cover at some point. But these I could work with. These have little stamens, but the stamens are flexible, so they could be just kind of glued off to the side and let flatten. Those would be all right. And then these are, of course, a little bit flatter. What do we got? I don't like, see that again, that's pretty, and it's hard. I'm just going to add these to this. I'm going to keep them all together. So I don't like those. No. Not for the inside of a journal anyway. So these I'm okay with. These I'm okay with. Alright, so those are my choices really. What do you think? Should I do any? I don't like that one. That one's weird. Any colors? Should I not do these? Maybe it's too much. Yeah, I could do just like a little. Maybe just a little. Let me think about where I'd put it. Something like that, maybe. Debating if I want that color or this color. I think that one. Yeah. Let's see what else we got. We got a lot of little fussy hats in here. This. I don't really know if there's anything that would look cute. Bunny rabbit. Potted plant. Smaller bunny rabbit. Maybe. Not the girl. This is very similar to this, even though it's different companies. But I want something more cut out, not square really. A little bird. I could put him on something. Probably have some die cuts in the 49 Market stuff. Girls. Okay, cat. Okay, cat. It's not the best fussy cut, but it's not horrible. A bigger bird. I think that's too big. Moon's too big. This moon is smaller. Which way does that go? It's too big to fit the right way. And a smaller kitty cat. What do you think? Bird, kitty cat, bunny rabbit, any of those? What are your thoughts? I lost the small bunny. I don't know where he went. I covered him up. I buried him. He was there, and now he's not. He's gone away. Don't know where I stuck him. There he is. Kitty cat, bird. I can find possibly a tree or something in the Gardenia market stuff. Get back in there. Or should I just not put anything on there? I don't have to put stuff on there. I don't think I'm going to put more words. I don't think so. So I could, but I don't know. All right, I'm getting my mess cleaned up. Paintbrush. All right, 49 Market. Let me look real quick. I think that is in Ed Hardy. Let's see, because if I put like the birdie, I'm not sure I like this one. I think that's too big. If I put the bird and the cat, honestly, he needs to be facing that way. Oh, the bird faces that way too, so I guess it doesn't matter. They both face that way. A big tree, that's probably way too big. And what else do you got in here? I had my tweezers in my hand. Now I've lost them. Oh, it's over there. Let's see. Get it out without ripping it. Maybe, maybe not. Come on. Release. I totally went for a Release the Kraken. That's where my brain went. No, I'm not a geek. Let go. All right. Just trying to get just a stem. So Mr. Birdie can sit on something. We don't want him to just be hanging there loose. I can move this twig and add him to that. It's not terrible. I don't know about the kitty cat though. Maybe just the birdie. I don't know if it needs something there. We have other birdies on here and butterflies. Ferns. I could just do another like tree piece, maybe. Butterflies are cute. I wonder if the color's okay. I think it's okay. Let's see. Should I put a butterfly? Honestly, the butterfly's too big. It's huge compared to that bird. That would be like a giant butterfly. It's like a monster-sized butterfly. don't like when things don't really scale appropriately. It kind of bugs me. All right, let's see. I could just put this like coming in from the other side, maybe. Maybe lift this a little bit higher. Something like that. It's not bad. All right, maybe. Set that there, and we do have words. I don't know. What do you think? Should I put a word? Depends if the word is the correct word. You know, if it makes sense. Where are my little words? I don't know. They're in here somewhere. Buried. Buried, buried, buried. Come on. Here's somewhere. Where are you at? I really need to put my words in a separate place, because I keep having to search for them. They're just getting long. Where are you? There you are. Thank you. Okay. So we already have the saying inside, which was, blessed who loves nature, for they shall never be lonely. So we have aim for the sky. Nature is not a place to visit, it is home. Collect moments, not things. Maybe. I wonder what the size is like. Let me cut that one out and see what it fits like. I kind of like that it's got like rolled up edges. It's like, I like the way they did it, but it kind of kills the other ones next to it. What time is it? Okay, I'm alright. So this goes like this. This. Just debating if it's too big. It's a little big. Look at the aim for the sky. It's a little more blue. I don't want too much because it'll blend. I don't want it to blend too much. It's not terrible. What if I put that there? See, then that doesn't really work. Catch a falling star to the moon. Be boldly creative. Choose joy. Learn your own story. I like the collect moments, not things, but I don't know. I feel like it's too big. What were some of the words in that other one? They're different kinds of words in this one. They're like outlined. I'm gonna have to put all these back again. I'm not gonna do it right now. We got free spirit. Free spirit, name for the sky, maybe? Maybe? I don't know what other words are in here. Memories. And Grow Wild and Free. That one seems a little on the big side, but it's not terrible. Free Spirit. Maybe one of those. I'm not sure about Imagination. Doesn't really feel like it fits with the theme. Beautiful's not bad. It's a little big, but I think it's okay. I don't know. Any feedback, guys? Anybody watching? Want to give me any feedback? Alright, I'm not going to put these back in here. I'm just going to loosely put them back in there. So I don't feel like fighting with it again. Alright, I think I like the bird and the trees. I think I'll do that. I'll trim this branch. And then I'm kind of liking for the sky. So the question is what to put on this side. Maybe Free Spirit. Seems like the size is about right. Either that or Wild and Free. Yeah, we'll just do that. They're all good, but we'll do that. I'm trying to see if there's anything that would work with this. Never stop looking up. Is the color okay? It's not terrible. Cut that out and see what it looks like. My really messy cutting job. I do much better with the bigger scissors, honestly. I'm just going to wiggle this side too because the other side's wiggled. What if I put this on here? Maybe. It's like I like the brown better on that than the dark. I don't know if I see a word that would work. This dream big, start small, stay wild at heart. Adventure awaits. The world is yours to explore, maybe. Where's my big scissors? Quit fighting with the little ones. I'm gonna have to start a little thing for these labels. Now that I'm starting to cut them. And I have a bunch of loose labels. That's what always happens. Let's see. Maybe. I think I like that color better than the other color, even though I like the other saying maybe a little better, but I think I like that color. All right, let's just set those up there for a minute. Set these up here. I'll put them where they go later. All right, we'll ink those, and there we go. I think I'll put this on there. It's got a little funny brown spot there. It's still there, but I'll take it off with inking. Let's ink these. How about, I don't know, tea-dye? No, that's probably not going to show. Let's go with just vintage photo. a vintage photo. Right, we'll put that on there. Put these on here. I might shape these edges. I don't like them. I'm just going to give them a little bit of a curve. I think it looks a little bit better that way when they don't have any kind of an outline or backing. I think a little bit of a shape. Doesn't have to be much, just enough. There, that there. Should I do the birdie? Probably should. He looks a little bit, got a lot of white outline on him. And I'm going to cut this branch out. I think I might cut out that inside too. It's a little challenging, but I'm going to do it anyway because I think it'll look better. Alright, so bear with me while I do that. What time is it? We're okay. So we're going to cut this out, and a mess. I didn't put the pen in that. Put the pen in for a minute before it dries up completely. Alright, so let's cut this little birdie out real quick here. Sometimes if you turn them over, you can see where you've missed. Sometimes you can't. It depends. If there wasn't print back there, I would be able to better. You gonna pop out of there or not? My poor blade is probably getting dull. I've been using it a lot today. Lots of cutting windows out for houses. Too much cutting. I was telling Dave, like my trapezoids are starting to get large from all this cutting. So I think I'm going to just snip this off. Yeah, I'm just going to attach onto that without the branch that's on here. I think it looks better than this one. All right. Where's my ink? Just enough to get rid of that little bit of a white edge. Okay, I'm going to glue him to this. I'm going to glue him. Let me see where this hits. I think I'll glue this down first. I'm half tempted to use art glitter. You know what? I think I will, because if I use this, it's just too it's too thick for this tiny little surface. We're going to go with our glitter. I don't think it will go through my fabric. reason I'm concerned is I just don't want it to glue up shut or nothing. I think it'll be all right though. That then, if you worry about it, you can kind of take a little bit off. All right, so this is gonna go like this. Let's make sure we have room for the birdie. So somewhere about here. Just checking my direction. Okay, that seems fine. And our little birdie. Okay, aim for the sky. I'm going to use Fabri-Tac on this one. It's a little thicker and absorbent. I'm worried it'll soak that art glitter up like crazy. Come on, bubble. These are a little bulky, but like I said, they're not going to be any bulkier than that zipper. So this is already a bulky page. So not something I really have to worry about. One more. All right, one more on this card, and we need, I think I want a backing for this. I'll have to look. I don't know what papers I have that would work. I have a whole, basically, box of papers floating around here somewhere. Okay, there's that. Okay. Let's see. Where are they? cute, but way too big. Label. Like this. Maybe that. Yeah, I think I'll go with that. I'm going to use the Barely Arts on this one because I am finding that it does warp less on thin papers. So I will use that. You could also just use glue stick for something like this. It's kind of on the thin side. This glue sticks, they're so iffy. They sometimes will literally just fall off later. So I don't particularly trust them. But I do use them every now and then. And I have a decent one, but let me make sure I'm up. Want to make sure that bottom edge is good because that's going to tag and it's going to slide in. We don't want to snag. That seems fine. So there. It's got writing space. There's like some stuff on here. This is from Dollar Tree. It was a white writing notebook. And it had, I tea dyed it or coffee dyed it or something. I don't know. One or the other. Cute. I like it. See if I can get this pen in. For whatever reason, this pen is harder to get in than my glitter one. I think it's slightly smaller. Alright, so this is the pocket. And like I said, you can zip it partially or all the way. It's kind of up to you. That did glue a little bit. The birdie went through just a fraction. He's okay though. If you feel like it's going to go through, maybe throw some acetate in there. Probably should have, because it did go through a little bit. This fabric must have been thinner than I thought. But I think it's fine. I'm just going to look at it. I think it's fine. All right. Just waiting if I need any powder or anything. If you ever think it's going to be sticky or anything, add powder. Some sort of a talc kind of powder. That will keep it from sticking closed on you. So I'm going to put a little bit in there just because it did glue in there a little bit. Where's my eraser? Where are you hiding? Huh. got you there. I have too many cans of pens. Way too many. Okay, it should be in there. Can I just not see it? I'm not that blind. It's just not there. Weird. Where did I hide you? It's alright. It's like a thick eraser that helps me get glue off. And I don't know where it is. I've lost it. Well, I'll use this one. It's not as good, but it'll work. They sell glue erasers. They do work pretty well. But they're latex. And my daughter's allergic to latex, so I tend to be pretty conscious of that. Alright, I think it's okay. I'm going to put some, I don't think it's necessary, I think it's fine. But I should have probably put some acetate in there before I glued those. Because they did go through that thin fabric. Just a little bit. Luckily not too much. Alright, where am I? All turned around. I have no idea. Alright, close enough. So that goes in there. Like I say, it can be partially zipped, all the way zipped, whatever you want. Yeah. Hidden for you to explore and find later. Close that up. Alright. I've got to figure out which direction this was because I really don't know when I turned it. Alright, that's upside. That's right. That's not even supposed to be in there. Alright. I think we're good. Put you back in the container too. Alright, so we have a zipper page. Y'all like it? Okay, so it's like that. And I don't remember which signature this is. Let's see. I think, I don't know if it was the first one or the last one. It doesn't really matter, but it's in here somewhere. I have no idea. I even forgot what my planned thought process was. But anyway, so cute little zipper page. I think it looks good. Doesn't have as much of this color as I thought it would, but that's okay. We can add something to this later to blend this in with that. But that's how it looks. Journaling spot. Journal there. You could journal in here if you wanted. Okay. I think it's cute. Like I said, it is a tad bulky, but it's not crazy. Okay. Oh, hey, Deborah. Did you watch the opening ceremonies? Yeah, I saw that being advertised earlier. Not really. Oh, I'm not into sports, even the Olympics. Just not my thing. Which is so weird. If you knew me when I was younger, you would totally think I played basketball, did all those things. But yeah, as I grew up, I really lost interest in sports. But anyway, I like it. I think it's cute. So you can catch the replay, Deborah. And I will see you guys next week. I think today's Friday. Keep losing track. So we still have some court stuff going on, so there's possibilities lives may have to be canceled. I just don't know at this point. So just bear with me if I have any cancellations. But as far as I know, I will be here on Monday at 9 p.m. All right. Y'all take care. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. And I will see you guys next time. Let me zoom back out. I'll see you guys next time. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.